What's going on, guys? I wanted to do an updated video on this guy because a lot has happened since. So I was looking back at this like the day after I made it, and I don't think I ever went over the the bearish sentiment or the bearish potential of this being either a rising wedge or a bull pennant. And I don't remember. I'm not looking back at my video now, so I don't even know if we went over that. But I was just talking about it just being bullish, and I forgot to say that potential. Now, obviously, things happened here, and it actually changed a lot of what it looks like, and it changed a lot of what has happened. And although the stock looks very bullish and looked very bullish, it still had a little bit of, a little bit of a breakdown, but not really that bad, honestly. So, to be honest with you, it still looks very good, even though it had what it had. So, I mean, that's kind of a good thing. Now, this is pretty obvious to the point that I probably don't even have to put this upper trend line, but just maybe this lower trend line only. So, you can see we got this rounding action here on the RSI. But if we look down at the RSI down here, this looks a lot like an inverse head and shoulders to me, where this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and this is the right shoulder. That could be potentially breaking out right here. But on the chart, I mean, it kind of looks like maybe that already played out potentially. Maybe this was the left shoulder, this was the head, this was the right shoulder that broke out, and then we kind of had this rising action here. So, I mean, basing off of what is going on here, I don't know if I ever went through this or not, so I'm going to go through it real quick because I want to show if I didn't, because it doesn't even look like I went through it. So I have to delete some stuff real quick so that we can see what's going on here and where this thing is heading, or could be heading, I should say. Shouldn't say where it's heading, right? So this was a very, very bullish, I mean, fucking A. I almost want to look at it like that. There's a couple different ways you could look at this thing. Fucking beast. So we had this channel here that broke out. I got to look on the weekly. I can't even see. So notice it gets in these falling channels and then it breaks. So what was the target? Did we already go over this? I don't remember. So my bad if I'm doing this again. I'm not even sure if I went over any of this. So the break of that falling wedge or falling channel has had a targeted move of 25.08, which it started at 13.15 when it broke. Now, if we look at the weekly here, you can see that it was very, very overextended when it hit that target. Had a big, big mean correction, which on the RSI anyway, which was about 3 weeks of correction here that it created another one of those falling channels, which actually kind of looked like a potential bull flag. And that targeted move, depending on if this was a bull flag or not, is actually the size of this. And that targeted move there brings you up to 37.17. So it looks like that's probably where you're heading. Now let me just check the TD sequential. We don't have any TD9 flashes. Let me check the Ichimoku cloud. Resistance is all below you on the weekly. Let me check the daily here. So the daily, it had this. I mean, I think you're heading up to that $37 target personally. It had this blow off top here at 25.86, fell down, broke out of here, created potentially a rising wedge with the breakout target of, which I'm going to actually go by that, from there to there, with a breakout target of the rising wedge to roughly where you are now, 27.40, and a break of the old all-time high there as well. And then now, what are you creating? Looks to be potentially either a bull flag or, I mean, it kind of looks like a bull flag to me on the daily. Do we have any DD9 flashes? Not yet. So then your break of this rising wedge, this break of this bull flag would be, if you broke this upper resistance, would be a targeted move of 29.76. If you do break down here, then you just know, which tomorrow your resistance, which it doesn't, it can wick below. As long as it doesn't close below, it's not a breakdown. So you could break down, if you went below 26.74, got a close and resistance candle below, then most likely you would come back down and retest this 25.87 as support. And you do have a couple spinning tops on the 4 hour. You did get a nice bounce there, though, and you closed above. It looks like you wicked down today to about, so we could actually probably say that it looks more like this than a there you go. Maybe it's like a bull pennant, but either way, yeah. So you're kind of looking like you're just bouncing around in here. I just got out of the shower and my freaking fingers are wet and it's not letting me fucking grab these. Come on. Really? Okay, gonna be like that. Thanks. Well, I don't know what's going on with that. That's pissing me off. Okay, so you have this right here, and it looks like the resistance is right above. There we go. Looks like your resistance is flat top, which is a good sign. How long has it been in here? Because this could be an ascending triangle, but really depends on the... I can't do shit right now. I can't grab it. So your resistance here looks like it is 27.21 roughly. And of course you wicked up a little higher here. But so if you could get a close above 27.32, which looking at the RSI here, it looks like you have more room to head up there. And it looks pretty good. So if you did get above this 27.37 roughly, and you got confirmed support because you've never had a candle close above here, then that would be your breakout right there. Look at the 45 minute. I mean, it's just starting to head up here now, so that's a good thing. Does the hourly have any red TD9 flashes? Nope. So, okay, I just wanted to go over that because I don't know if we ever went over any of that, but now you can kind of see where your targeted move is. Based off of that, right now you do have bearish divergence very badly, though, on the 4 hour. Which it's still got to bounce, but if we go from here to here, this is the left, which might have already played out. Because right here was your peak there, where the dotted line runs up. And right here was your peak there, which was bearish divergence. So then you dumped all the way down, and then you created bullish divergence where you were here, right? This was your dip there, and this was your dip prior, which was lower on the right, higher on the left, and then the opposite on the chart. So then you had a beautiful run up here, and now you're right there and there. So there's no bearish divergence there, just on the overall chart. So if we just went by just this here, I wouldn't call it bearish divergence. So I wouldn't get too worried about that. So it looks like it broke out there. If we ran this trend line across like that, then you could actually see that this is your breakout that you need to get above this resistance line. And it looks like it's heading back up to test it again here. So see if you can get a break above that without emming out here. That'd be kind of what I'd be looking for. So, I mean, you have your spinning top here, which is sometimes a signal of a breakdown. So if you did break down, you'd come down here to this 25.88, and you'd want to catch that as support right there, definitely. And it'd be a back test of an old all-time high. And it looks like the MACD is looking down to cross negative. So, yeah, kind of tricky. And then this could look like a little head and shoulders pattern here, so we'd want to be careful, but this could have been a falling wedge that just broke up that's coming back up to test this line, which could bring you back up to this area here. So whether or not it just continues to consolidate in here or not, that's what you'll have to figure out unless it wants to get a breakout here. Otherwise, it could come back down here and continue to trend in here, or it can come back down here, break down, then come back up if this confirms support there. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Hopefully this helps. That's kind of your resistance there that you want to get above, 27.35. But it does look like it's trying to, I don't know, in my opinion, it looks like it's trying to break out. It's a little confusing because the 4 hour looks like it could have a MACD cross, and then the 1 hour looks like it wants to run up higher. So I just keep an eye on this level here and make sure that if you do have a nice run up here, your RSI ends up coming up roughly as high as this. Otherwise, you'll end up with some bearish divergence there that could put you down. And then see if you actually get this MACD cross or not tomorrow. So that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I don't know. I still feel pretty bullish about it. But the main thing, and I think it's going to head up to that target, but the main thing that you want to keep in mind is just that you have bearish divergence as of right now on the weekly too, because this is higher on the left and this is lower on the right. So you're heading up here, but unless this RSI comes up higher here, then you'll have bearish divergence, and then that'll end up playing out, which could ultimately drop you down to 25.81, or it could drop you down to one of these old resistance marks, $24. But you do have a weekly golden cross that came in here that's pumping you up here. But you're also pretty you're getting up in that overextended area there on the weekly. But that you can kind of see that in the past, every time you're up here, you have a pretty mean drop. So I forgot to talk about that, but you did have a drop here, and then you reset your RSI. Now you're kind of coming back up here. So then just watch out for a double top on that RSI there too. And then, it could be coming up. And what's weird is that targeted move of 37.78 lines up perfectly with this old peak there. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So this thing might be trying to eventually get up here to test its old all-time high. Well, not old all-time high, but old area right up here. That's where I think it's heading. So just keeping that in mind. And it actually looks like with all of these moving averages crossing here to the, crossing positive, these are all golden crosses coming in. So with all that being said, it looks pretty damn bullish. But like I said, those are the few warning signs there that I'm giving you as far as that. Where's the RSI here? The RSI is rolling up there. Looking like it's back tested that line of support and you got a bounce. So, yeah, I mean, what is this, 988? And we're all the way down at like 70. So you're in the healthy territory of your RSI on the daily. So that's good. So it does definitely have room to run if it wants to break this. So yeah, keep an eye on this support, this resistance level of like 27.45, and then like a confirmed, some kind of confirmed support above it. Whether it's a 4-hourly close would probably be the best. If you get this will be your first candle in the morning. Boom. If you get a break, then wait for 130, and if you get a close at 130 above here, then that would be a very bullish sign there. On this hourly, it's just testing it now here. So whether or not it gets rejected and comes back down to this bottom trend line of 26.56, or if it actually decides to break up here in the morning and then just keep looking every hour to see if you're getting confirmed support. If it flags out again above, then that's going to be a very bullish sign for you to continue to move up. If it gets rejected, it could come back down here again. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I just wanted to do the updated